to the 2025-2026 presentation. Cooke County Housing Report. These are the number of houses sold each year all the way back to 2016. You see here peaked in 20 and 21 here in Cooke County. That has a lot to do with Carl Clement. He put about 100 properties on the market all at one time here in Gainesville, because I think he was buying a big building in Fort Worth or something. So I think that's why those numbers are where they are. Last year, best year, probably the most home sales in Cooke County of all time, and interest rates were high. Go figure. Of course, the peak of the interest rate was in 2023. So you look at the number of sales last year, it's 509. That's well over 2022 and 23. But it was a struggle. It was a struggle for most, because we had 645 agents in Cooke County credited with a sale. At least one sale. So lots of competition here in Cooke County. Median sales prices, you see those are they just continue to go up. Now, why is that? With the inventory being so high, it was very high all year. I saw it dip below 6 months a couple of weeks ago, but it only lasted 1 week. I've seen 10 months or more at times in 2025. So lots of houses on the market, but the prices still keep going up. Why is that? I think it's because of this. The builders they're selling new houses, and new houses sell for more. Even if, well, part of that selling for more, I noticed, I sold a house in Fort Worth or Hazlet area last year, and I looked back at the price it sold for, at least what was recorded at the county, and it was like 30 or 40,000 more than what the people told me they paid for it. So I don't know if the builder was just reporting higher numbers, or if there were incentives, which builders like to do, give incentives to buyers to buy down rates or whatever else that they do, make it a lot easier for people to buy the house. So you see the number of sales, home sales, was it 500 and, how many was it? 509 last year, and 115 of them were brand new houses. That's over 20%. That's a lot of houses to be sold brand new. So those prices are higher. So that's why you see that median price, I think, why it's so much higher. Here's something I posted on Facebook a month or so ago. Wages haven't kept up with inflation, and that is what has really made it hard for buyers in the last 2 years. Things are changing. The inflation is coming down, or did come down, and we'll see in a little bit how wages are outpacing the increase in price of homes, actually. So it's a good thing for the normal buyer, but for investors, there's still lots of opportunities for investors. Median price per foot, you see it just keeps going up. I think the next slide might tell us, no, it's a couple more down. I want to show you real quick. Jump forward to, I think it's up here. Maybe I missed it. I think, oh, that was it right there finally. They're saying it's going to go up 1.6% on average, all the people that are predicting. But if it did that in Cooke County, if it only went up 1.6%, that would be a decrease in our year-to-year increase. From 24 to 25, it's closer to 3% increase in median price per foot. So a lot of interesting things going on, lots of factors. We'll just continue on. Median days on market. I'm sure you've seen signs in yards for a lot longer than normal. Lots of things going on. House I'm closing on this Friday, listed in, I took over, well, they fired the old agent, hired me in October of 24. So almost a year and a half ago. And open house, open house, open house. Offer, negotiate. Finally got under contract in March. And they had to sell a house. Most of the people that are buying are also selling. So they had to sell a house in Oklahoma. Well, so he was already working down here in the Metroplex, and he wanted to live in this house. And so they ended up moving into it, leasing ahead of time, started in June, thinking that we were gonna, yeah, it's one, that's the one. So extended that lease, a short-term lease on a sale like this, you can only do for 3 months. Well, we did it twice. And then they decided, well, things were happening in their family that, you know, better off that we just go back home in Oklahoma. So they moved back, and then we got it under contract within like a week. You just never know. God's timing, I think. But median days on market, there's crazy things that happen all the time, but when things get harder, things get crazier, I think. Because buyers are just doing everything they can to find a way to get in a house. All right, just going to do a quick thing on land and commercial, very quick, because there's a lot fewer sales, a lot less to talk about. You see, yeah, in 2021, 276 sales in Cooke County, 141 last year, land sales.
What's a land sale?
Vacant land, just no home on it, no, and
no particular size of property.
right, no particular size. We just did all land. And there's the median sales price over the last 5 years of land. Here we go. Jumped up. I don't know why, but with the fewer sales you have, the more the outliers play and, you know, make a difference. So jumped 10,000 an acre from one year to the next. Not sure why. I didn't look at the particulars, but you know, there could have been, my guess is a few more subdivisions, a few more small parcels selling, taking up that, the number of sales there. So you know, it could have been 8 acres selling here and 5 acres selling here. Just don't know. And then the median days on market, how it's gone up so much. All right. Not many commercial sales in Cooke County. There's not a whole lot of commercial property. We're a much lower population county, so we really can't, an agent can't survive on just commercial sales in Cooke County unless you get them all. All right, this is a little more pertinent to the crowd, people with rental properties. So you see the number of homes through the MLS. Why do y'all think that number has gone up so much over the last 5 years? Can't afford to buy a house? I think there's a lot of that. What's that?
Credit.
What's
ready.
that? Credit ready, yeah. I think part of it is back here, we had and we still do, but the big boom, that 100 houses that Carl Clement sold, I think those got scooped up by investors. I think there's a lot of investors that come from the city that don't know anyone here, so they're going to go to an agent and list it for lease. I think that's done a lot for this number. There's a lot of people from the city investing here. So many agents I see, like, who are these people? I've never seen their name before, and they're office is down in Dallas. There's the price per foot on the lease. So you see, in 5 years, what, 24 cents? That's over 20% increase in price per foot from 21 to 25. It's a pretty big deal to renters. It's getting harder for people that are renting to keep renting. And I don't have the numbers on it, but nationally, we're still on a shortage of housing. We don't have enough single-family houses for the population growth. I don't know if that has anything to do with open borders or not, but it could add 10 million people to the population, or 20, whatever it was. Here we go. Mortgage rates have dropped over 1% in a year, which is great. Going to make things a lot better. The green line is just a graphic, but the others, those were the rates. So see, in January it was close to 7.
Right now we're at 5.99.
Depending on who you look at. Yesterday, Freddie Mac was at, I don't know what that text say that I sent, John or Brent. We were at Freddie Mac, well, last Thursday, they update every Thursday, 606 was what they were at. So this is pretty cool. So from January of 25, 7.26 to January 14 this year, on a $500,000 loan, how much that would make in your monthly payment. It's a big deal. $400 a month. That takes care of your insurance and not much of your taxes, but yeah, a $500,000 house, your taxes, what would that be, about $7,000 or $8,000 probably, depending on the city you live in. Okay, so inventory. This is nationwide. You see the red line is 2020, the white line is 2025. So we started out with less inventory last year than we did in 2020. But see these 3 gray lines, 17, 18, and 19, they're all above what we are now, which is kind of insane to me. Having gotten my license in 2018, I did notice that it seemed like it got a whole lot easier in 2020, 2021, 2022. It got a lot easier to make sales. And the last 2 years have been a lot harder. But you see how it's trending back down towards the year before. And I think here in Cooke County, well, I'll tell you more what I think when we get to the 2026 part of this. Need any more time looking at that? So these are thousands of houses. So 1 million houses, 1.2 million, 1.4 million. December 2025, we're at 976,833 houses for sale. Let y'all look at that a second. Cooling price growth. Now, I think here in Cooke County, I think we're ahead of the game. We saw the decrease in sales and the increase in inventory a lot sooner than most of the country here in Cooke County. Like they were a year ago when I went to the same conference I was at last week, lots of people were still talking like, you know, there's no inventory. Well, we had plenty. We had, I don't think I've seen five months of inventory except that one time in a year and a half. So, yeah, prices are going to see it. Of course, parts of the state that were on fire before, they're cold now, like Austin, those prices. I think that's, the big cities are a big reason that number is there. You see a lot of other states though have went up. And I think with the number of new homes being sold in Cooke County, the percentage, we're like 20% of our homes sold were new. I think that's keeping our prices from dropping. And I don't think, not all places are seeing that. Denton County's seeing a lot of new home sales, but nothing like other parts of the state where they're not building at all. It's a pretty cool stat right there. And I think that's what's keeping a lot of people from being foreclosed on. Why would a bank foreclose on you if you own 2/3 of the house already? They'll find a way to rework the loan and keep you in it, because it's a lot easier than foreclosing and putting it back on the market. So over 2/3 of the country have at least 50% equity in their house. And that stat has been there for, I know a year ago or 2 years ago, that was still the same stat. So those low interest rates that people are paying really help.